Earlier this week, I released a video on representation, what it means and why it matters. And I left gerrymandering out of it on purpose. That video was a safe place discussion, something that could be talked about from different angles. This isn't one of those topics. This is a line in the sand issue. Because if you believe in a free and democratic society, gerrymandering isn't something you should ever support. The United States Constitution doesn't treat fair representation as a suggestion. It's actually the law. Article 1, Section 2 says the House of Representatives will be composed of members chosen by the people of several states, with seats divided among the states according to the census taken every 10 years. The 14th Amendment, Section 2, reinforces that those seats must be allocated according to the whole number of persons in each state. And the Supreme Court, for its part, in cases like Westbury versus Sanders, confirmed that this means congressional districts must have roughly equal populations, the principle of one person, one vote. That's the baseline, that's the law. In most states, the politicians in charge of drawing these district maps happen to be the same people who stand to benefit from them. That's where gerrymandering comes in. It's when the lines aren't drawn to reflect communities or fairness, but to lock in power for one political side. So imagine a simple map, just a grid of dots. Each dot is a voter. Some are yellow, some are green. Let's say there are exactly the same number of each. Very basic example, I know, but we'll get through it. If you draw the districts fairly, equal populations, compact shapes, you probably get a split that matches the voters. Maybe half the districts leaning yellow, half leaning green. Mind you, in some places it could be almost all yellow and a little green, or all green and a little yellow. The point is that the district lines are not drawn with those colors in mind. They're drawn with community in mind. But if you're in charge and you want your side to win an election more than your fair share, you might pack as many of the other side's voters as possible into a few districts where they will win in a landslide and crack the rest so thinly across other districts that they can't win anywhere else. On paper, it looks legal because every district still has the same population. But in practice, you've taken a 50-50 population and turned it into, say, 4 seats for your side and only 1 seat for theirs. It's the same voters, same total population, but a totally different outcome. And if you happen to have been paying attention to the news in the last couple of weeks, you know that this isn't just theory. This really does happen, and it happens in the United States. We're going to look at a couple of hilarious examples, at least to me, of some of the worst drawn districts in American history. So this is North Carolina's old 12th district. It, I think, if I read it right, has gotten changed since. But it looks less like a district and more like the migration pattern of a bear or some other wildlife in North Carolina. I don't feel like that's a true representation of one community. I think this is my favorite example out of the few I'm going to show you. This is also, I believe, since been changed, but this is Maryland's old 3rd district, and I just find this example wild. And I know this is a little dark, but once you see it, I feel like you can't unsee it. It kind of looks like a bunny that didn't make it across the road. You got the head on the left there, the body kind of stretched out and the tail in the back. Sorry for that image, but it's what I see now when I look at it. And here is Illinois' old 4th district, also known as the earmuffs. This one's easy. It's literally called that. You don't even need a joke. The shape does the talking. And I believe this is still Texas's 35th district. And, you know, looking at this, I am sure that the people of Austin and San Antonio have exactly the same community needs. Yeah, this one is a perfect example of why weird maps aren't just funny looking, they cause real problems. When districts are carved up like this, it's not just like someone let a toddler loose with a marker. It's a sign that something's gone really wrong with the process. And when you do that, it's not just weird looking maps, it's actually worse government. Communities get split up, your school district, hospital, or fire service might be in one area, while your representative covers another. Priorities get scrambled. A district might lump together city neighborhoods, farmland, and suburbs, all with very different needs, and one group inevitably loses out. Money and services get wasted. Overlapping jurisdictions mean more bureaucracy and duplicated projects. Voters get confused. People on opposite sides of the same street can have different reps, rules, and polling places. Emergencies get harder to manage. In a flood or wildfire, unclear district lines can slow down who's responsible for responding. Let's for a moment here set politics aside. The whole idea of fair representation is that the map reflects the people, not that the people are arranged to fit the map. When gerrymandering locks in safe seats, accountability disappears. Representatives don't have to listen to everyone, just their party's base. It discourages voters, polarizes politics, and shifts power away from the public. Politics will always be competitive. That's part of a democracy. That's awesome. But when politics become only about winning at all costs, we've gone too far. Gerrymandering isn't about making your case to the voters. It's about politicians locking in power, even if it means hurting the foundations of a free society. We need to step back and ask, what are our foundations? What do we actually believe in? Do we really want to weaken the whole system just to win for the next 2, 4, or 6 years? Because sure, this can be a short-term win, but the cost is long-term damage. If you believe in a free and democratic society, this should be appalling to you. You should want federal standards to prevent it. Mind you, if you want a more authoritarian state, this is absolutely a step in the right direction. And remember, if your priority is winning over representing, history shows it's much easier to lose your rights than to win them back. The map should reflect the people, not the other way around.